Hi guys, it's Mel from Mel and Kody's podcast, but without the Kody. Sadly, he is not in again, but I feel like he's kind of late. So if he does come in halfway through, I will laugh. I will. 100% laugh. He'll probably laugh too, or he'll probably complain, depending on what his mood is. But yeah, today I'm talking about what I did over my half term last week. Well, as you're wondering, I went to Alton Towers for 2 days. And it was really fun. It was really great. It's really great. So, when I got there on my first day, which was on a Sunday, my dad dropped me, my mum, my sister off at the gates, and he drove off to do his own thing. So we walked towards the gate, towards the entrance, and of course I took a picture in front of the giant roller coaster track thing at the front. I took a picture in front of that, which was pretty cool. And of course, when we got through, we went towards the Wicker Man to try and see if we can queue up for that in time to get on it. And of course, because Wicker Man is literally the first ride everyone goes to when at Alton Towers. It really is the first ride everyone goes to. So yeah, we queued up for that. And when we were halfway towards the front of the queue, everything just went quiet. Nothing was running. There was no music playing. Nothing. And at least about an hour later, or half an hour later, I can't remember how long it was, an employee came out saying that apparently there was a power cut throughout the entire park. Nothing was running. Nothing. What was that? Never mind. So nothing was running. And when we got to the front, all they did was give us bottles of water and said to wait and expect the power to come on soon. And we waited for at least 3 hours until the power came back on, until things started running. The only rides that were running were the kiddie rides, and the one ride that we could do, the first ride that was running, that pretty much a lot of people were headed towards, which was the Runaway Mine Train. That one's pretty cool. It's kind of funny. I have a few funny stories on that one. The operator, every time you go round, he says choo-choo, and you have to say choo-choo back, otherwise it isn't as fun. And of course, when we're in the queue line, they have this rule, because you know the rule of no loose items on the rides, otherwise you will end up losing them and you'll probably never get them back, depending on how long the ride will be shut down for an employee to go get them, which will spoil everyone else's day. And this elderly guy, kind of like a grandparent in a way, he had his phone out on the ride the entire time, and the operator, before starting the ride, he said, "Put your phone away." And of course, when they came back around a second time, the operator yet again yelled, "Put your phone in your pocket." And of course, he did not. He still had his phone out. And of course, when the next lot of people went on, there was a woman with her phone out. And the guy said, on the speaker again, he said, "Everyone, please make sure you put all loose items away in your bag or pocket so you will not lose them," and all that. And of course, the lady did not listen to that. She had her phone out. And of course, the operator stopped the ride after the first one. And of course, they had to bring around the 2 guys that were checking the restraints. And of course, they booted her off the ride. And he said, "Anyone with their phone out will be given only the one ride treatment, because the ride goes around 2 times. So they only had the one ride treatment and they got booted off the ride. So, yeah. So if you are planning to do it on Taz and you're doing the Runaway Mine Train, do not have your phone out on the ride, please. It is a bad idea. The second ride we did was we did Nemesis. I think that was the second ride. Yeah, it was. Yeah, we did Nemesis. Now that one, I like it, but unfortunately for my mum and my sister, that really did them in. It really did them in. They could not handle it anymore, unfortunately. They've hit that age, sadly. But I will still do it no matter what. So yeah, I really like that ride. Really like it. Although for those of you who want to know the difference between Nemesis Reborn and Nemesis Inferno at Thorpe Park, the difference is Nemesis Inferno at Thorpe Park is about fire and heat. The one at Alton Towers is about a monster. So don't get the two of them confused, please. Otherwise I'll be very ticked off about it. Thank you. The third ride we did, I'm trying to remember now. I think it was Wicker Man that we managed to do. Was it the Smiler? Yeah, no, it's definitely Wicker Man. We definitely did do Wicker Man. I think that was the third one. So yeah, Wicker Man, that one, really like that one. It's definitely my mum and my sister's favourite. Because when you go through, they have this presentation at the beginning telling you what exactly is going to happen. And basically, you are a sacrifice. You're being sacrificed to the Wicker Man. And with that ride, it's probably, well, it's the only wooden coaster I've ever been on. I haven't been on any other wooden coasters. The only wooden coaster I know in the UK is the Big Dipper, which is at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, which I haven't been to yet. But yeah, it's really fun. The fourth ride, I think, was the Smiler. Yeah. The Smiler isn't too bad, to be honest. Now with that one, there was a funny thing that happened at the beginning. Because my mum did something that I did at Thorpe Park on the Swarm many years ago when I went on the Swarm for the first time. So when I was on the Swarm, I sat down and I looked at the lift door, I looked how high it was, and I was like, oh God, I can't do this. So when the guy that was checking the restraints came round, I asked him, can I get off, please? And my mum looked, and he looked at my mum, and my mum said, oh, it's her first time on this ride. She hasn't been on this ride before. And, of course, the guy explained to me how gentle it was, how good it was. So, yeah, my mum did something similar on the Smiler. So the second we sat down and we pulled the restraints down, she realised that the restraints are similar to the ones to Saw at Thorpe Park. And she said, oh God, why are these so wide? And I looked at her and I said, I told you it's like Saw at Thorpe Park. It's just like Saw. And she says, oh God. And she said, and realising that she's going to have to go through 14 loops on this ride, she said, I want to get off. And I said, you can't, you're stuck in here now because we're about to go. And the second we went off, of course, because you dive down and you go into like a heartline roll, which is the first inversion on the ride. So yeah. So I think she was okay at the first part, but the second part, when we got to the second lift hill, oh God, I really hate that lift hill. especially the one on Sort, it just feels like you've got to fall out your seat. Because you only have one restraint holding you down in one place. You have no seatbelt on it whatsoever. No seatbelt. And that's that one piece of machinery keeping you from falling backwards out of your seat. And of course, she really enjoyed it in the end. She really liked it. She was okay. She was fine. She wasn't going to be sick at all. Actually, it doesn't actually make you feel dizzy at all. I mean, it does make you smile. I mean, the amount of pictures taken, a lot of people were smiling. So the Smiler really does live up to its hype. And to its name. So yeah, Smiler was really good. I actually got a souvenir cup from there. Refillable cup. You can get refillable cups. You can get pretty much any drink in the refill stations, but they are different flavors. But here's the thing. You have to use the cups that they have because they have built-in chips in the cups for the machine to recognize that you're using one of their cups. Although you can't use it the next day. If you want to use it the next day, you have to, you have to pay at least £12 to reignite the refillable thing. But when you use it once, you have to wait at least 10 minutes before refilling it again. Luckily, I'm a slow drinker at Thorpe Park. I only take a few sips, and that's it. But considering the fact that it was pretty much over 26 degrees there, oh God, I was drinking too much than I realised. Okay, back to what I was talking about before. The fifth ride we did was Oblivion. And on that one, I was actually hoping I would sit on the second row, but I ended up sitting in the front row. Dear God. I shut my eyes on that ride. Really tight. I was holding on for dear life. I screamed so loud on that one. That was the only ride I screamed the loudest on. What other ride did we do? We then did Rita. We did that one. That one's pretty good. That one, although when you walk by it, it says pretty much 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. That's actually wrong, by the way. Do not get confused with that, because it's not 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. It's 0 to 100 in 2.5 seconds. I know what 60 feels like. I know what the speed of 60 feels like. That is not 60 miles per hour. That's 100. Just so those of you don't get confused with that. But yeah, what I'd say with that ride is please try, because we have a habit, us Brits have a habit of leaning our heads forwards on rides. Please try and keep your head back, otherwise you'll end up smacking your head against the restraints while turning. So yeah, that one was pretty good, except for the fact it kept opening and closing the entire goddamn time. So yeah, it's pretty good. Second day, on Monday, no issues with the power. It was all good, except for the fact that Rita was closed the entire day. Wasn't open once. Not once was it open. But the funny thing about that, even though it was closed, the sound system was still playing on it, which I don't understand why. So yeah, our first ride when we got there was Wicker Man, because my dad came along with us this time, and we had to do a lot of convincing to get him on it. A lot of convincing. He kept thinking he was going to be sick, because he's at that age where he cannot do anything that turns, spins, or even goes upside down. But we had to do a lot of convincing. And we had to say, it's just like the Big Dipper at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. It's just like that one, nothing else. And so he got on it. He sat next to me on it. And of course, he really enjoyed it. But he only did it that one time. That one time he did it. But he was all right. He was all right in the end. And, of course, him and my sister went to do their own thing. Me and Mum went to do Nemesis. Well, which one did we do? We did Galactica, which was pretty good. That ride, it took a while for us to get on it. Mostly because they only had one train running at that time. The other side of the station wasn't even open.